That was clean!
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of CRL Spotlight, and today is a very, very special one. I mean, they're all special, but today we have Saint Belikin, or is it just Belikin now? I don't know. We'll find out in just a second. Coming on the show after his dominant performance at CRL this weekend and in general in the fall of 2020. Saint Belikin has been playing incredibly well in head-to-head, and this last weekend we saw him finally move into that 1v1 spot. So now that he's there and he's been dominating, he brings home the W yesterday with some great matchups and great gameplay. I'm really excited to sit down and talk to him. I mean, he's been in the league longer than I have, you know, and that's not, can't be said about a lot of people out there. So that's enough out of me. Let's hear more out of him. I'm excited to talk to him. Belly, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good, man.
Yeah. Well, I'm doing great. Thank you so much for making time to do this. I remember you and I were actually supposed to do a coaching session like a year ago, and our schedules just like never worked out. So I'm glad that we were able to come like full circle back here today.
Yeah, I kind of forgot about it. When was that for?
I was doing a pro coaches caster series for a little bit, and it ended up just kind of falling apart because I didn't just do enough. I need to do more. So that's what this is all about. So let's talk to you really quickly about Belikin versus Saint Belikin. Why'd you drop the Saint, man? Is it because you're a bad boy now?
No, it's just because the name actually doesn't fit.
Okay.
Saint Belikin is just too long. It's one character too long, so that's why.
Okay.
There's no reason for it.
All right. Okay, it's not as cool of a story as I thought.
No. I thought you about Samuel Basotas, but it's just the same reason. It's too long.
Okay, got it. Well, you learn something every day. So let's talk a little bit about your journey through CRL, man, because you and I was saying when I introed you, you've been in the league, you know, longer than I have. Technically, you were in the league on queso before I was technically even signed as a caster. You took some time off. When you took time off, how was that for you? Did you know you were going to come back, or were you kind of unsure?
Well, I was sort of like, I thought I was going to get back after my school finished, but it's not always. It was uncertain because they were at the start of CRL, I think there were 48 teams, something like that. Then it's now 18 teams until like there's a lot less opportunity to join as a player because there's so few teams now. Teams are only signing 4 players besides like Honos and Nova. So there's a lot. There's not very much job security if you're not someone like Morton or OF. So there's a bit of pressure that I wasn't going to get a team, but luckily I did.
And it feels like, in general, I mean, because I'm a big fan of yours. I always have been ever since 2017 when I first saw you play. And then when you kind of took time off, I still watch what you're doing online. Was it easy to kind of keep yourself motivated to work that hard when you weren't even sure if you were going to have a roster and if you weren't sure if you wanted to come back? And like you're saying, you weren't even sure if you were going to be guaranteed if you did commit to coming back. How did you stay kind of dialed in the way you did?
Well, when I was at school, my main focus was just to keep up my levels so people don't think I'm just falling off and washed up. I just completely washed, so that when I come back, when I'm able to finish school and I'm able to come back, hopefully I'll be able to get a team. That was my main objective, and that's what kept me going.
And so now that you ended up on Cream, can you talk a little bit about maybe what that phone call was like with them calling you and reaching out, or maybe you reaching out to them and kind of putting together the roster that you guys have now?
Well, it was a bit unexpected because what happened is after I left Queso so I could go to school, I joined a team called S2V for SLO, where we did decently. We lost in playoffs, but we did decently. And then I joined Arctic for for a bit where we kind of did badly. We lost in group stage. And then a Cream contacted me for the next OCO. They said, hey, we really like you. We'd like you to add... Mitch Fu is going to be in our CRL team, but before CRL starts, he's going to play in our OCL roster. And since you guys know each other very well, we'd like you to join a team, and we'd like you to help us get a team. So I joined them initially only for OCL because, I mean, I was going to have school until July, more or less. And then hopefully, if they liked what I was doing, I was going to join them for this split, the full split, and join Mitch Fu and whoever they were going to sign it. They kind of signed Diego E, and they were thinking about the 4th player, which ended up being Jirai. But in OCL, I was really good friends with Bob the Rock, so I got him into the OCL team, which might have helped him get into Misfits. But and then we also signed a couple of other players. But
when did you and Michifu kind of start to develop your guys' friendship? I didn't actually know you guys were as close as you are.
And it was probably because it was a Spanish server for ladder players where there's top ladder players from Spain and Latin America like Carpi and Riro. We often would call there for ladder,
Oh,
and Mitch
okay.
was also there. So we sort of like became friends there. And that's also how I started learning Spanish, where I was trying to talk in Spanish to them. So from calling with them, that's how I learned Spanish to be able to talk with them.
A lot of you younger guys have learned to speak Spanish or another language, or someone like Serge, he's learned a couple different languages or trying to with communication. Has it been easy to communicate with your team because you have learned so much Spanish now?
Yeah, all of our practices are basically completely in Spanish. So
That's so
I
cool.
mean, Pedro speaks a decent bit of English, but Michu and Diego don't really. So whenever we play 2v2, we're always doing it in Spanish.
So when you joined Cream and you're talking about how they wanted you and Michifu to kind of start building a team, did you have a committed role at that point? Were you going to be a 2v2 guy, King of the Hill, 1v1 specialist? Were you kind of the superstar? Like, what was the actual role that they wanted you in, or was it more about building the team first and then kind of placing you where you fell because you are as talented as you are, you can play 2v2, 1v1, or King of the Hill?
Well, we originally only signed me for OCL, which is just 1v1. There's no 2v2 at all.
Okay.
I think I was meant to be like the captain, and I'd like build up a team. So like I got Bob Durock into the team. Chisper got a guy called Ace who's doing really well in Nota right now, and we also had Mustama as well, and we sort of built the team like that. I wasn't necessarily designed for 2v2, but when we went to a media day in Barcelona once, where I met Mitch through there, also the manager of the team, Danny, and we were talking a lot there, and he was talking about he want me to sort of be the 2v2 specialist for this split, which obviously hasn't happened, but our 2v2 is really solid, and I think we're top 2 right now with Arsenal SK.
Yeah, I mean, you guys in 2v2 have been incredibly impressive, and you in 1v1 have as well, and there's a lot more that I want to kind of unpack with that. Um, people gave you a really hard time for counting Elixir in week 1. It wasn't publicly known, and first of all, I think you're so awesome for going and changing your Twitter name to Mr. Two Screens. It was one of my absolute favorite things that you could have done because you did nothing wrong. And the fact that everyone was giving you so much hate and you leaned into it, it literally didn't let them say anything back to you. Other players are doing it. You're playing well with it. You're winning with something that's legal. Were you upset when that first happened, or were you kind of just like, whatever, man, this is gonna blow over?
I mean, I mean, I've done nothing wrong, so I'm not too bothered.
Yeah.
One of the things that annoyed was Surgical and Eric sort of saying legally cheating, which is like, I did reply to Surgical, but he didn't reply to me. But it's calling it legally cheating. It's just asking his fans to like just get pissed off me every game. I wasn't a fan of him saying that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just not cheating. I mean, and also another thing that was annoying me is I make it obvious because I don't have my teammates telling me yet, so I have my headphones off, look at it on my other device. But there's so many other players who have their headphones on, they're talking, it's so obvious they're doing it, but because they're not looking at their screen over, like I look down here, like because they're not looking at it, they don't get the same amount of abuse as I do, which I mean, you can't really stop it. I mean, I understand why it's happening, and also the people who are doing it with headphones, that's perfectly fine, it's perfectly allowed, it's everyone's allowed to do it, it's just, I feel I'm just a bit annoyed that I'm the only one that's receiving it because I was the first person to do it, so I'm sort of like being made the example of it.
Yeah, and that's that's again why, like, when I saw the way that you responded, I was really proud of you, man, because it's easy to kind of go down that hole of people being toxic and wanting to overly defend yourself and criticize other people and call out other players doing it. But the bottom line is you did nothing wrong. And here's the other thing: since other people are doing it, they're not sweeping King of the Hill. They're not winning 1v1, and they aren't doing what you've been doing for your team right now. So even though it's at everyone's disposal, it's still about being able to utilize that tool and actually put it into play and practice. So that BS aside, that drama aside, let's actually talk about how well you've been playing, because I don't care if I'm able to see the cards in the person's hand and their elixir. I could not do what you've been doing these days. So some of it's been great matchup, a lot of it's been great play. Talk a little bit about your transition into this 1v1 role over the last week, because it has been you and King of the Hill, which has been great, and then Pedro in the 1v1, but now we're seeing a bit of a shift. How is that with the inner workings of Cream?
So last season I was sort of like the fourth players, and you had Diego and Gio the 2v2. Pedro was the 1v1 specialist, and he was doing really well in that season. He did really well this season, and I was sort of like the player who would always play King of the Hill. I only got to play it once in the regular season. One
Mhm.
because Diego swept, and the only time I played was against Dignitas, where I lost to Bale. Just 0-1 in that. But I also like the fourth player. But this season, with in the off season, we had the SSG Cup, which we ended up winning, beating Case in the final. And me and Pedro was basically the MVP of that. Like he did really well in that. So it's sort of like different to the CRL so far. But he just destroyed that competition. And me and him played a 2v2, and me and him were sort of like sweeping in Kingdom Hills and winning our sets. So I'm kind of surprised to see him do badly, but we still trust in him. And yeah, but what happened is during the off season we had three main 2v2 duos: Diego, Michi, me and Michi, and me and Pedro.
Mhm.
But so that we could get sort of Pedro in the 1v1 set, we focused on having Diego and Michi as our 2v2, and still be like the King of the Hill player as I was last season. Obviously, I play more since King of the Hill is the second set rather than the final set.
Right.
So we obviously Diego Mitchell has been a really good 2v2, but I think I've become the 1v1 player more so because King of the Hill is now the second set, so it happens no matter what.
Do you think
So,
that Pedro will end up taking that 1v1 spot back, or you guys just kind of go with whoever has the hot hand at the moment?
we're going with the flow. Against Pain, we were actually going to put Pedro in the 1v1 set because we still trust in him, but Pedro just didn't want to, so
Yeah.
we decided that I'd do it instead.
Well,
But
that's
we still trust in him. He might do 1v1s in the future again. We don't know yet.
Well, that's like a big part of people that have been very successful, right? Is being able to kind of adjust as the season moves on, move people in and out of 1v1, 2v2. So we're about 10 minutes, a little over. So I want to get into the gameplay here soon. But the last thing I want to talk about is with Cream and the future of your guys' season. Where do you see you guys landing? Where do you guys see? I mean, I honestly think you guys are going to be a playoff team. Where do you think you're going to fall in that top six? And also, what do you think your biggest struggle or your biggest, I guess, challenge is going to be moving forward?
Well, I think we've got a really good chance of top six because if you look at the standings, there's sort of becoming a big divide between the top six and bottom four now. Because what happens is you've got Misfits and Pain, which are basically both 0-4, Chiva 0-3, and we also have the tiebreaker of Pain, so there's very little chance that they overtake us. You also have Liquid for a 1-2, and they also have Dignitas and us, who are both 5th and 6th, have tiebreaker over Liquid. These four teams at the bottom are going to have a really tough struggle to get back into the top six because they're basically 2 games or more behind the top 6.
Yeah, it's crazy that even though we're only a few weeks in, it does really start to see like the playoff picture starting to kind of form. So yesterday, you came in that 1v1 and you had some of the best matchups I've ever seen, but you also played really, really well. Did you guys know that Lucas was going to come out with 2.6 and then the second deck, or did you just kind of... What was the strategy going into that 1v1 set? Because it was perfect.
Well, we had a plan for the King of the Hill, which is we all had decks for each player, right? And I was going to play Splash Shot against Lucas because we looked at his deck pool. He only had one deck which was good against it, which was 2.9 Expo, and we were just praying that he wouldn't play 2.9 Expo because all his other decks lose the Splash Shot Bomb Tower.
Interesting.
And also, he hadn't played 2.6 yet, so we were thinking he might be thinking, hey, I played 7 games without 2.6. Now is my chance to, since I haven't played it yet, it might be a surprise. So we had a deck that was really good against 90% of his deck, but we just thought it was just a solid pick and it worked out well for us.
Yeah, I mean we were giving it to Pain a little bit on the broadcast just because I mean it's a testament to your guys' analyst and your guys' communication as a team. That was a beautiful, beautiful matchup. So let's talk a little bit about this deck because personally for me, I hate playing against clone. It's so brutal. Lava clone, golden clone, whatever clone it is. There was a moment there when because I'm a mortar guy, I was running that mortar Valkyrie poison where I was matching up a little bit better. But right now, this is the guy. As you can see, the card levels are pretty low for me. I don't use these cards really at all. I'd say clone, lava hound, and lumberjack are some of the cards that have been in the game the longest that I've used the least. So how are you successful with this deck? What is something I should be kind of looking for?
Well, knowing when to ignore a push is one of the most important things for this deck. So as you saw yesterday,
yeah,
just you can, again this match against Mortar, the worst thing you can do is start your push and try and defend the pressure they're doing, because the key is this deck is getting a really big clone. He obviously has Fireball, so don't really want to include Skelly Dragons in my push. So in most matches where they have Fireball, you want to do Lava. Depending on what they do, ignore it. If it's a Hog Rider, you can just fish from another lane and that's fine. Or something like that. But what you want to do is a Lava, Lumberjack, Baby Dragon clone is the key. Lucas actually did a really good play against me, where I had my Lava, Baby Dragon, Lumberjack. He did a Skelly Bow, which meant I cannot clone the Lava, Lumberjack, and Baby Dragon. So obviously only clones the Lumberjack and Baby Dragon. It's like Lumberjack and Lava. So that's a really good play by him.
So he was trying to create space there. It wasn't about the Skelly Barrel dropping and killing the clones. It was about making it so you couldn't clone all of it?
Yeah.
Okay,
basically.
wow.
So that was a really good play by him, but the mistake he did is that the cloned Lava Hound didn't die and then he did the Fireball, so he needs to wait to do the Fireball once the cloned Lava Hound dies, so that he can kill the cloned Lava Pups, and that took his tower because of that.
And what's a horrible matchup for this deck? Like, is Splash Yard horrible? Like, what?
And anything with Splash Yard is actually winnable. I win it most of the time. It's you sort of don't win by clones. You win by just doing lava pushes with Baby Dragon and Stube and stuff. And if they use Nado, you can clone. Or if you want a Rage for 3 Elixir, you can clone. And then they have to Nado it, so that's sometimes a good play. But Splash Yard's fairly hard, but it's winnable. But any deck of Executioner or Wizard is just impossible.
It's just impossible. All right, I'm nervous because I've played a lot of decks in my day, and this is one that I'm just no. So, Belly, please hold my hand through this. Let's do it.
Okay. One thing is you want to have Lava in starting hand. Like Lava first play is usually a really good play. So you got like what the? Oh, this guy's giving up.
Oh, he's giving up. That's lame. All right. So now that we're back and we have sound, and I just picked up a game win because this guy didn't play, let's go into game 2 and see if we can do something a little bit different.
Okay. Hopefully you get Lava in starting hand again.
Yes, and I don't play it in the middle. I learned at least that much.
Yeah. As if they do a Hog, you can just fish from it. In the match yesterday against Lucas, I waited to do Lava Hound a bit because I was scared of him doing Night Goblin Gang. But he did Cycled Goblin Gang in the back, and I think that Lava then because I realized he can't finish me enough. The Scare Jack to clean it up, and he has to fireball it. Oh, I guess. Oh, this guy's level 8, and he's going in an interesting day.
What is happening here? How is when do level 8s do grand challenges?
It goes Lava, then Lumberjack, then Baby Dragon. So that's what the most important thing.
Lava, Lumber, Baby Dragon. Okay, alright, let's get a real game here. Let's do this.
Okay, let's go. This guy is from a decent hand. You should get a real game here.
Okay.
Do you have Lava in starting hand? Oh,
I do not.
You probably want to just Skelly Drag this.
Oh, okay.
Or Fishman also works. So if he has classic log bait, this matchup is winnable, but there's a specific way to play this, especially if he's in Inferno Tower. So Skelly Drags are really important in this matchup because they have Rocket. So, he has Snowball. Oh, I don't know which log bait he should be, but that's kind of rough. Because if he has logs, he doesn't really like having good honest because Princess to a clone, where he's got Skelly. He's got Princess and Snowball.
Right.
Oh, he's just well wrapped it. Okay.
What is this?
Honestly, what you could probably do here is go Hill Spirit and clone everything here at the bridge.
Okay.
And that works since it doesn't have anything handy.
Let's go.
Oh, even with that?
Princess hit. Yeah, one good thing to do is like, when the princess, it's got a slow attack speed, so once the princess hits the Baby Dragon and Lumberjack, we clone at that moment, the princess wants to recharge her attack again.
Okay, got it.
So you get a bit more time before the princess kills the clones. Like you're up in damage now.
So should I Lava Hound now? Because he's gonna probably want a Hog Rider right now?
I think you probably need to wait till 2 Sun Slicks in this matchup because he's got a lot of pressure. So something like Fisherman in the back is okay. I'll be back. It's all fine.
Yeah, I was gonna save the Fisherman in case he went in with the Hog Rider, but I don't know if he's gonna play that aggressive.
Yeah, you probably want to go defensive like for the entire match. Just make sure the princess doesn't destroy you too much and just be patient with this matchup. Alright, this is an interesting push. Yeah, good skill there. Yeah, a bit late to hit it, but you're still fine. Like he has 2 of these, and he's probably low as well. So you can.
Should I Lava Hound in front of the princess?
Yeah,
because
eat the lava.
So I just eat this?
All of this.
Okay.
And you want to go a big lava push here.
In the left hand side or right?
Left hand side.
Ah, I should have gone in the middle. That was my bad.
One thing is what you can do with the fisherman or something like that is you can block the. Oh, that's good. Wait, doing furniture. That was a bit lucky. But this is a really bad matchup. You want to try to block the princess hit, like maybe a lumberjack over lane, like if there's princess. But it depends where he does the princess. Otherwise, just go all in with the huge princess. Wait for the princess hit. As soon as the princess hit, just clone everything. Yeah, so just give you a bit of time.
Should have probably snowballed that, but it's okay.
Nah, probably not. But you've got so many clones, it just overrun with the spell. Lumberjack picks up. You go in with another lava.
Again, I keep going to the center because I'm so stupid, but.
Once you get tank, because they're huge quantities.
I think I just lost.
That's a lot of damage.
Yeah, it's a lot of damage.
Oh no. You just need to get a skelly dragon and then clone in. Because even the princess, they'll still get decent value. Ooh. Princess spam is not good fun to play against this deck.
Oh, we just lost.
Wait. Wait. Need to spam at the bridge. Spam. And then clone. Oh, it's not looking good.
It's not looking good at all. No, dude, we were so close.
That was close.
Well played. Man, alright, so I gotta adjust. I've gotta make some changes. We were close though.
Yeah, to be fair, that's one of the tougher matchups. But the thing is, he didn't have a big spell, I assume. If you look at his deck, he didn't have a big spell. Oh, no, let's assume he didn't. He didn't play well in this thing in the whole game.
Yeah.
So that's one of the things you have to take advantage of, because he can't directly kill like Skelly Dragons or Baby Dragon. He's the princess to just overwhelm it. So getting a big push with both the dragons is really good, because he just needs so many things to kill the dragons. Yeah.
I needed to like put those together a bit more, and I got like overwhelmed with the defense in the beginning, so I was kind of playing from behind for too long.
Alright, so do you have Lava and starting one? Oh no,
sir.
not again. You can just wait here and react to what he does. Hopefully he doesn't wait too long, because that'll be a bit boring.
Do you always wait? Okay.
No, Fisher in the back is generally a decent play, just as most people don't have giant skeletons, so it's better than usual. Alright, just Baby Dragon that. He might have like Royal Giant or something, like a classic meta deck, which is a good matchup. What you need to do is, in lots of matchups, the main play, if you want. Oh, he's not. He might have started, but in most matchups, play Lava, Lumberjack, Baby Dragon, Clone, and Hero Spirit if you want. That's the general push of this deck, because there's nothing besides maybe a rocket that can completely stop it.
Got it.
Alright, this guy looks like he's got Golden Electro Drag with Maida, which is a really tough matchup, but you can win it if they play back.
So right now, I'm just gonna let this push go, and then just kind of maybe meet this with my.
Yep. So you only want to Lava here because he's not got E-Dragon hand, which is good for you. That's the main counter to from his deck. So he's got pump. You want to go all in with Lumberjack, Baby Dragon, Clone here.
In that order, or do I go Baby Dragon and then Lumberjack?
No. But what happened is, one of the things you can do with this deck is you wait until you're full, then you do Baby Dragon, Lumberjack at the same time, and then Clone.
Okay.
Like you wait until you're full, and then Clone it all. That way, and then Clone it all. Clone. You can hear a bit as well. But his power, I mean, you're gonna really struggle to defend because it's in the future, but that's how you put the tower like in single action.
So what should I do now that he has a massive elixir lead on me?
Well, he uses print. You can just switch on this.
That's
and put
interesting.
the ball in front. And you should probably go defend it.
Yeah. That's an odd decision to not.
In this situation you wouldn't do it, but in some matchups what is really good is you can decide to just clone on defense.
Okay.
So if you got kind of dragon, let's say you're against giant double prince, you just have Baby Dragon, Lumberjack and clone it all, and it just melts their giant. So this lava is actually really good because it's going to tank for the E-Dragon. So oh nice, this is good as well. Yeah, you get one.
Oh, yeah, that's easy.
You can clone her.
I was just gonna say I want to clone on defense, although I fat fingered.
A good thing with Lumberjack is that you can die and you have but he got a
Ooh, I feel a little dirty winning with Lava Clone, but it also felt pretty good. It felt pretty good.
That was a really tough matchup, so that was good.
All right, let me do one more, and then do you want to do one on the season just reset. I don't know if you want to do a ladder game. Would that be?
Yeah, I'll be playing against bad players, so probably not the best.
Okay, then maybe we'll just do one more, and then we can call it, because I feel like I've actually learned a lot here from these pushes, man. I mean, just these games, because yeah, like you're talking about, those orchestrating pushes are so different when you do it with this Lava Clone deck, because it feels so against what I've always kind of taught myself or played, because I always play a quick cycle. That's just like the way I've always enjoyed playing.
Yeah, lots of people like really struggle with this type of deck because they don't know when to. Lots of people, the main mistake they do is they over defend. So
Yeah.
Just try and defend something, and it's just not worth to defend it.
Man.
Like, you can lose towers so often in this match, and it's not a problem.
So if he's gonna do that, what do I do?
I just Fishman at the bridge.
Oh, Fisherman at the bridge. Oh, well.
Also, it's not the end of the world, it just means you get a bit of damage. So if he's got lava arrows, you're in a bit of a problem, but if he's got lava classic, it's not that much of a problem. You defensive clone, if you wanna probably baby dragon and try cloning all your buildings, but I think your baby dragon is good to far away. He's got I think it's mirror, He's got lava clone as well. He probably got he's got lava clone.
Ooh, that's gonna be bad.
You need this, there's no way.
No, no, I shouldn't have done it! That was exactly what you're talking about.
So, this matchup is actually really interesting. You would have been in a really good position
if I wouldn't have yeah, I know.
Yeah. You would have been up a lot of elixir. So, the way to win this matchup is ignore this lava, just go in all other lane.
Just go opposite, yeah.
You want to get a big clone push of. Ash Skinny Dragon's a better than Baby Dragon because he doesn't have a big spell, but you want to get in here because of your hand. You want to get Lava, Baby Dragon, Lumberjack clone.
So just completely ignore this on the right hand side.
You want to defend the Baby Dragon and that's it. Like,
I thought you wanted to Baby to go with the push. What's that?
You want to like use the minimum elixir that just stops you Baby Dragon that and just Lumberjack there. Perfect. And that's the best. And if you can, oh, he's not got
we're in trouble.
A bit complicated, but
yeah.
No, you need another lava. You need to get his legs in the push.
Got it.
Alright, so you want to get another lava push. So you kind of like lost the dragons are kind of important. So you want to. Okay, this is good. Okay, you can get a really good defense here. As you can defend his stuff while attacking. You want to get Heal Spirit, Baby Dragon, just get all your dragons in there and then clone everything with Lumberjack. Actually, just do Lumberjack clone because you're not going to get it in time. Clone it all. Alright, that's fine. Spam it. Spam. No, but his stuff, yeah, you might get tower here actually.
Oh, that Lumberjack dude, he's going to town!
Alright, you need to just spam everything with the edge because you need to get tower here.
Oh, he just lobbed it. I'm good. My Lumberjack's all
no. Alright, you're good.
Yeah.
Alright. You want to save up for another lava? You want to get the dragon here and just get really.
Do I go lava up in the center or where?
In the center, yeah. Okay. Lava in the center and then clone everything. Try and clone as much as you can. Alright, that's fine. It would have been better than the big dragons, but it's still. Oh, he's taking tower.
Dude, we got this. We got this, dude.
Oh. This Baby Dragon's flashing. Wait, and the Fisherman's gonna take tower if he doesn't defend it. And that's a nice comeback. Let's go, baby. All right. Thank God you were there. I would have blown it if you weren't. Oh, all right, man, dude. I can't thank you enough. That was a ton of fun. I don't know what I'm doing with that deck, as you can tell, but you helped me kind of readjust. I'm gonna probably include all but those first 2 games because they were rough. Yeah. Thank you again, Belikin. It's so great to see you succeeding. You know, I was definitely bummed when you took a little bit of time off. Really happy to see you come back because, I mean, it's the same as living in LA. People say, oh, I'm going to leave LA for a while. I'll be back in a year. And then you never see him again. I was wondering if that was going to be the case with you and CRL. But you're back. You're dominating. Cream's doing well. You guys got playoff in the future. So I hope you have a great practice. And I guess I'll see you Saturday. Okay, thank you.
Yep.
See you then.
All right, man. Take care.
Actually, no, we play Sunday.
Oh, you
Actually.
play Sunday? Okay, well then you'll see me maybe Saturday, and I'll see you Sunday.
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
right, brother. You have a good rest of your day and have a great practice. Okay.
All right. Thanks.
Thank you.
See ya.
All right, guys. That was Saint Belikin, the clone master himself. My God, am I bad with Lava Clone? But I feel like I learned a good amount there from him. It was super, super helpful. A lot of tips in there. A lot of tips in there from Belikin about not defending, not over-defending, knowing when to commit, knowing what to clone, all of the things. And also the bridge spam. There's a good aspect of bridge spam in this deck because the lava is so beefy. So, guys, this has been CRL Spotlight. I'm Andrew Guy. That was Saint Belikin for Cream Real Betis. Please let me know down below in the comment section who you want to see next. Let me know what you thought about this video, the gameplay with being nice. Be nice about that gameplay. And I'll be back next week with another episode of CRL Spotlight. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Keep clashing.